Yo, what is up guys, Slattern here, and today I'm going to be doing a DPS rotation guide on the Havoc Demon Hunter. I'm going to cover single target rotation as well as Aoe rotation. Alright, so first off, let's jump into Aoe rotation. I usually jump in with Fell Rush and then immediately Glaive Toss to get the Bloodlet dot rolling. I then usually Blade Dance and Fell Rush again, throwing another Glaive. After that I will use I-Beam into another Blade Dance and then Fell Rush again. This is the kind of AoE I usually save for 3 to 5 mobs in one group. If I have Fury of the Illidari up, I usually save it if a boss is upcoming in the next minute or so, but if not, I'll just use it in between the AoE rotation. AoE pulls can vary, especially in keystone runs, because you want to down the mobs as fast as possible while also saving some cooldowns for boss fights. So you have to be wise with your cooldowns and make sure you use them for proper pulls. Things such as Chaos Nova should be used when they're all grouped up together, but you must make sure you don't overlap stuns, especially in keystone runs. You want to make sure you're using your cooldowns very effectively, otherwise you can cause a wipe or other things. People just die, you pull more mobs. You just have to be very wary of what you're doing. You just have to make sure you're using your cooldowns effectively, or your DPS is going to lack a lot, especially on AoE pulls and single target if you're using all your cooldowns for the AoE right before the boss. You just want to make sure you're paying attention to your cooldowns and using them wisely. Do time management in between your pulls, like let's say you have pull a big group before the boss fight. You don't want to use all your cooldowns because you do want to save them for the boss, so just be wary of that and pay attention to that. Alright, let's move on to single target rotation. Typically, you would like to have all your buffs up at once. I usually try to save my meta Fury of the Illidari, Chaos Blades if you're talented for it, and with these three things you can make your DPS skyrocket on opening rotation. I usually start the fight off with a Fell Rush into a meta, followed by another Fell Rush, Chaos Blades, and then a Fury of the Illidari. This can make your DPS peak extremely high right away. Following the Fury of the Illidari, I'll start to spam Chaos Strike, or in Metamorphosis form it's called Annihilation. If I'm low on Fury, I will use Fell Rush and get Bloodlet back on the target, but your main damage should be from getting off as many Annihilation Strikes as possible. Because in Metamorphosis form, especially if you're using Chaos Blades, you want to make sure that you're getting as many Annihilations off as possible, because I think it's 12-second cooldown, so make sure you're using that effectively and you're making the most out of that. Alright, so once meta is down, you should continue keeping the Bloodlet on the target and using Fell Rush to keep your Fury generation going. If you find you are low on Fury with no Fell Rush, I usually pop Blur. If you do have it in your artifact weapon, Blur will also give you 2 charges of Fell Rush, so that makes it, you have more Fury generation, so make sure you have that in your weapon, because it's really effective. Also gives you dodge chance, so make sure you're using that if you feel you're low on Fury generation. But honestly, every boss fight can vary, especially if you have to avoid certain things and kill ads, etc. So your DPS rotation isn't always the same, keep that in mind. But targets that usually are tank and spank, it usually will be the same as what I just said earlier. So just keep up your Annihilation as much as possible, like keep spamming Annihilation, keep your Bloodlet on the target as much as possible, and yeah, just continue generating Fury from Fell Rush. So just learn to adapt to certain situations and you'll have no problem topping DPS, especially if you're a little higher item level. In this video I'm only 851 I believe, but I do pretty decent DPS for 851 Demon Hunter. Like I said in a previous video, I started to stack a little more haste, and I find that haste has been a little more effective for me overall right now, and so I usually stack haste and then crit, but I've been playing around with it because I keep getting new pieces of gear, so honestly it's just a learning stage for me. Obviously this guide isn't going to be the most effective for everyone, like everyone has different opinions. And also other people's rotation might be a little different than mine. I'm just giving you guys my perspective on the way I play my Demon Hunter. So, and I do pretty decent DPS. I've peaked over 650k now. Not in this video obviously, but on other boss fights and stuff. Now that I'm getting a little more gear, I am peaking a little higher. But overall, the Demon Hunter is a really fun class, and if you learn to play it properly and use your cooldowns effectively, you can really enjoy it. So if this guide helped you out a bit, please give me a like, a comment, let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. If there's anything I can do to make the guide better, I'd like to know in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate the support lately. And until next time, guys, have a good one.